Welcome back to another episode of the YAWG Pod. No matter how many times they try to stop us, we just keep coming back. And by they, I mean ourselves. And by stop us, I mean our inability to release episodes. Today's episode is brought to you by a random text from Boone that reads as follows. Random pod topic. I completely forgot that British courts still wear George Washington-style hairpieces. ... That's kind of crazy. Now, Boone, I have a question for you. Were you implying that George Washington wore a wig, or that they wear hairpieces that was the style of the times of George Washington?
Before I get into this, I feel like you're setting me up. Like, if I said the latter, you would be like, man, this guy's so dumb. And so I'm just going to go ahead and let you know that, of course, I don't think that George Washington wore wigs. I'm just saying the style of the hairpiece is of George Washington. That's all I meant by it.
All right, because if you were going to say that you thought he wore a wig, I was going to say you're slandering a founding father and that you're not American.
Well, what if he did wear a wig? You don't know.
Yes.
I mean, you ain't got no facts to prove it right now off the top.
I Googled it. I researched it.
Oh.
I researched it.
Big
They
boy
said
on
that he didn't wear
campus
a wig.
here. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, to Boone's point, yes, they do wear wigs. And I did some research. So first I'll start off with the facts, and then we can have our discussion about it. British lawyers and judges wear George Washington-style hairpieces. That's what they call them officially. Just kidding. They're called barrister wigs. And they wear them
I was going to be very surprised.
To portray their formality in the courtroom and pay homage to legal history. It's pretty dumb to me, but then I got to thinking, why did they wear wigs in history? Like, that didn't really answer the question. It just said they wear wigs because they've always worn wigs. Stupid. So then I looked up, why did they wear wigs in the past? No surprise to me, it's all Bowen's people's fault. Bowen's people, and by Bowen's people I mean bald people. And more specifically to Bowen, people started going bald in 16th century England because they all had, you guessed it, syphilis. And lice. So just think about how, like, that's a gross tradition to carry on. They didn't want everybody to know they had syphilis, so they just put a wig on. The other reason I found was because they all had lice, and it was easier to just shave their head and disinfect their wig than it was to get rid of the lice in their hair. And just think about, like,
that still seems like the easiest strat even today to get rid of lice.
Mm-hmm. But just think how gross that was. You know how disgusting, like, medieval England was? No sewers. Everyone just pooped and died in the streets. And you got your wig going through all that and just wearing it. And the English people today thought, you know what? That was a dignified time.
No, English
let's keep
people
that
are
on.
gross, dude. They are.
Going. I think it's stupid.
They're gross a little bit. But no,
we have some people from England that listen to this show, so apologies.
I doubt. Anyway, no.
We have a map.
They're no more gross than we are. Okay, they're no more like they are gross, but we're gross too. So I mean, it kind of evens out. That's all I was saying. Listen, fun fact on that: how gross United States of America is. Let me put this to you. I'm on my. This is not the random thing that Matthew didn't want me to bring up earlier. This just came to me. I'm on my way to Planet Fitness. And we were running some errands today. Actually, I wasn't going. I was near Planet Fitness. We were doing some other errands. And when I was driving, right in front of us comes this guy, this older guy, at least 50 plus, with his shirt off. We don't live near the beach. There's no pools nearby. This is a busy road, Nicholasville Road, and he just comes shirt off, riding a bicycle. Got a big gulp. He's got a little cup holder on the bicycle with a giant, like. What's that Route 44, Matthew? You can get at Sonic, like that size cup sitting there, and he's just cruising. And I said,
44 ounces.
I said, McKenna, that guy is living life. At what point can I get to that? Like he doesn't care. His skin's leather tan. I mean, he does not care. There's at least 100 cars passing him every second, and there's no care. His belly's out hanging.
It's old. I think you reach a certain age, and I think there's just no care left. But speaking of Route 44 Sonic, I still have an alarm in my phone that has Miss Bryant's order that I would have to go leave for school and go pick up Sonic and then take it back to first period counselor. It still says Sonic, Route 44, Diet Coke, whatever, something.
To bring it back, because I'm the one who did the random tangent.
Like we were saying.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say that every time you go to the beach, there's one of those old guys that's just letting it all hang out. He's basically leather. And that's just like the coolest thing. And on top of that, you said like that's Like that's something that's cool to be when you're old. You just don't care. I found my new dream job today. I don't know if you guys have watched the Book of Boba Fett. This isn't a spoiler, but in the cantina area of the Book of Boba Fett, there's this alien that just looks like a giant blue stuffed animal. Amber inserted in.
McKenna makes fun of it every
time.
time
It
she
just plays the
sees
drums
it.
in a circle, and it goes like this. That's what I want to do.
McKenna makes fun of it every time she sees it. Every single time, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of it is funny looking, but I kind of dig it. I respect it, Matthew. If you want to go, you can be whatever you want to be, Matthew. If you want to be a stuffed blue animal on a backstage of a Star Wars show, you do that, Matthew. But anyway, to bring it back on topic here, I'm the one who,
it's not even like a good Star Wars planet. It's a desert planet.
It's not. It's horrible, Matthew. You wouldn't even like it. It's hot and everything. But thinking of weird old people, well, why does English people trust their government or like lower ranking government to make giant decisions when they're wearing costumes and wigs? Why? This makes no sense. Well, the person that's wearing a wig.
That's the other point I had. Can you imagine how stupid like SVU would look on TV if they all wore those wigs?
No, dude, I can't. When I saw it, I was blown away. But on another thing that kind of made me mad. So you both, I think Bowen's kind of retired from TikTok, but my mom's addicted to it. A lot of people around me are, and so I'm on YouTube, and you know how they have YouTube Shorts that are oftentimes like transferred from TikTok. So I'm trying to watch a YouTube short. I'm just a little bored here, just scrolling a little bit, and like I'm watching like how-to videos on how to this or that, and this thing pops up like really interesting. Like guy goes down the biggest water slide in the world, and it's like, and then it's like, I can't even get through the first 10 seconds. Granted, TikTok only is 15 seconds, but I can't even get through it because of how annoying that voiceover is. I mean, can we get through a world where it's not, here I am, going down slide. Oh, watch me. Wee. And it's got that dumb animatronic voice that they use. As soon as I hear it, I said, you just ruined this video. I was excited to see this slide. I was excited to see the guy going down it. You have ruined it. And every time, I can't bear to watch a TikTok. I cannot bear to watch a single TikTok. It frustrates me.
See, here's where you're wrong, Ben. It's like Facebook, YouTube Shorts, and like the Facebook ones and the Instagram ones are subpar to TikTok. Every once in a while, I'll get on Facebook and I'll just click on the videos and I'll just keep scrolling. I'm like, these suck, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to the good stuff and go over to TikTok, and then because I got the TikTok algorithm down too, it just shows me food videos and like comedy clips. So it's pretty tied down there. I just get food. That's all I want.
I don't want any part of it.
Speaking of food, I don't know how I didn't lead the podcast off with this. I have made a monumental step for humankind, specifically inside of my household. I have officially replicated Aranda's rice. Throwback to earlier in the podcast, I replicated Aranda's queso. I also two for tonight, replicated their chicken. I have 3 of the 5 ingredients to my favorite meal that I can just make at home for much cheaper. I'm not going to stop going to Aranda's once a week, but this would allow me to eat it as many times as I want a week.
You got to master the small. You got to master this. Yeah, steak and shrimp. You got to master this, like the shredded steak. You got to master that. They get like perfectly thin little slices.
The steaks, because now the steak is going to be the hardest because there's different cuts of steak. I don't know what cut of steak they use. I'm pretty sure they use the same seasoning on everything. I'm not going to give it away because I discovered it, but it's only 2 different seasonings. I also had their guacamole down as well. I figured out their guacamole recipe. So it's been a lifelong dream of mine to just be able to make their honest menu at home. Again, Martin, if you're listening, I'm not going to stop going there. Saw you yesterday on our walk. Right, he's riding his bike and me and Amber were walking. But
does he live over there?
He's our neighbor. He's like a few houses down. So anyway, that was my discovery, and it was amazing today.
I think the British, they still get away with it now, wearing the wigs because of the accent. They can get away with a lot because of the accent.
And you just think, like, you think of British people, you think they got goofy traditions. They're a little goofy stuff about them. But then also, they're like the most sophisticated people somehow. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
All right.
It doesn't make any sense how such a small island can produce so many singers, too. That's always
so many actors.
And actors.
To me. The whole actors, but that really makes me mad. The actors thing. How good they have it down, the American accent. Rick, really, from The Walking Dead, is what started me getting angry about this because he pulled off the Southern accent so well that you had no idea, and then you hear him talk in his regular voice, and then like every once in a while, I mean, they're just everywhere. They're everywhere. You hear him talking in an interview, and you're like, "You're British too?" I'm getting tired of it.
Every single one of them. There's no
You see the
American
one-
actors left.
It's a joke video, but
I don't think there are.
they're interviewing Tom Holland, and they're like, "Why are you pretending?" They're like halfway through, they're like, "Why are you pretending to be British for this interview?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You're American. Like you're Spider-Man. Like why do you keep pretending to be British?" And he's like, "No, I just use an American accent, in Spider-Man." And he's like, "Spider-Man's British." They're being stupid on purpose. But
The next thing we're going to find out.
If they ever do Captain America, that's the final.
Well, the next
straw.
thing we're going to find out is just like our homeboys, like Denzel Washington. We're going to find out that he was just faking an American accent his whole life. His whole life, he was just faking it, and he's been British this whole time. They're infiltrating. They're getting through every way they can.
it's the long game. They may have lost the Revolutionary War, but they're taking over.
I asked McKenna today. I said, "What do you think Patterson's voice is going to sound like?" But granted, this is my daughter from my own blood. She's only 3 months old. Guarantee you her first words, fish and chips, and she starts talking British. They've already got us down, boys. They already got us. There's nothing I can do about it. She's British. She's probably going to be much more successful if she is British.
Well, as long as it's not any, like Hail the leader of China, anything like that, and I'm okay with it.
I have no idea how
I was
that.
gonna say I don't know any Mandarin.
There's no correlation between what I just said and what you just said.
Yeah,
100%.
I had it
I would rather the British infiltrate us than the Chinese infiltrate the
Oh,
children.
my-
They're coming for the children.
anyway. This is why earlier in my notes and stuff, I was gonna say, what should we bring back that was stupid from our past? And then I didn't say that because I knew Bowen would say something stupid like slavery. So we're gonna move on to the next topic. This is a debate, and this is a debate that I have strong passion for. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and name the debate. What my opinion on it, and it's called "Making the Bed is the stupidest thing in the world." And I'll give my side because my side's the right side, and then Boone, who I know is strongly opposed to my side, can give his opinion. That's wrong. There's absolutely no utility for making the bed. Like the only thing making the bed does is make you have to mess it up again 16 hours later. Like, and then it's just so stupid. It's an endless cycle, and the only reason that you do it is because society programmed you to. So you're programmed, Boone, to just want to make your bed over and over and over again. And it's like, what purpose does making the bed serve? And some people will say, "Oh, it's cleaner. It looks neater." I looked it up. I researched it. A messy bed is actually cleaner because when you sleep on your sheets at night, you sweat and you breathe out and you lose lots of moisture. It gets absorbed into your sheets. If you cover your sheets up with your blankets and your comforter when you make your bed, it can't evaporate throughout the day. So you're just creating a little oven for bacteria when you make your bed. And also, I don't know how to explain how it's a waste of time because it serves zero purpose. You're taking time out of your morning to make your bed only for it to do absolutely nothing all day. No one's going in your room to look at your bed to see, oh, did he make his bed and see if he's neat. No one goes to your room when they go to your house. And you just mess it up later. And you mess it up so you can make it again. It's just like, it's insanity. You got a rebuttal?
Oh, I have plenty of rebuttals. Bowen, I got plenty of things I want to say, but I want to go to Bowen first. Bowen, I just need to ask you something. I just need to ask you, and answer as quickly as you would if I wasn't even on the podcast. What makes the United States of America the best country in the world?
I want you to
Freedom.
say the military.
I want you to say the military, Bowen, because I have the entire military on my side, Matthew. The whole military. Nothing but the military. Every single one of them. What do they got to do? Make their bed. Their studies show that
they
if
have
you make,
to. They don't want to.
if you wake up and make your bed, you're going to be how much ever percentage more productive than people who don't. But my point, look, I'm not going to say I enjoy making my bed. OCD, I like the clean feeling. But the way this sounds, this whole overarching thing that Matthew's kind of throwing at you, is, let me put it this way: have you ever seen a law like one of those law movies, like Law Abiding Citizen or something, where it's all based around in a courtroom, and you start like that attorney starts stepping up to the jury and starts convincing them, and you're really into it. You're like, oh man, what is he saying? They're throwing everything at you. That's what I'm about to do to Matthew. Okay, so listen up, jury, as in Bowen. It's almost like Matthew's just venting to us. There's no logic behind this. Matthew's venting because someone at his house, probably Amber, said, hey, why don't you make the bed one time for me? No, maybe not every time. Make the bed. And then Matthew's like, oh, man, I can't do that. I am going to double down so hard. I'm going to make a podcast topic about it. I am going to research all the things I can. I'm going to do everything I can do. I'm even going to bring health concerns into the logic so that you understand that it is not a good thing to make the bed. So that way, when Amber asks again, Matthew can pull out his thesis statement and show it to her, and then she has no rebuttal. Matthew, I was born with rebuttal. Making your bed is the right thing to do. When you wake it up, you make your bed, you're ready to go out the door. Everything is set in stone. You come in, it's clean, it's nice, it's made. I'm not saying you got to make it every day, but making your bed is what makes America great. The United States military. That's all I got to say.
Why? What purpose does it serve? What purpose?
You should have said what makes America most powerful.
Well,
I'm that would have given you military. But I mean, great. You got Taco Bell.
There's plenty of things, Matthew. But the first thing I'm going to say is it builds a habit. If you could start building habits, then you can build healthy habits. You're creating habits.
Why don't you build a good habit, not a stupid habit? It's pointless.
Matthew, if you can
I can build a habit of me just knocking this can over every
So,
day.
Matthew, I'd like for you to walk to the military. Actually, I would like Matthew. Let's go live. I wouldn't like Matthew to go live on the streets. I want to put a little body cam on Matthew, and I want Matthew to enter the first few days of boot camp. Just the first few days. As soon as they ask him to make his bed, this ain't healthy. This ain't healthy. There are germs here. I sweat last night. There are germs here.
You still haven't provided a reason that making the bed is a good thing.
I'm telling you why it's a good thing. It literally is the backbone
You're
of our country.
You're saying it's a good thing because the military does it.
That's all
you
I
think
need.
everything the military does is good?
Yes, I do. Our military, they're ours. They're the boys, Matthew. They're the boys. What all of a sudden boys can't be in the White House?
Military, but you're just a blanket statement that the military is everything they do is good. That's a little troublesome.
That's fine. I'm not. I can support it only so far. I need you to go to a professional. Go to a Marine. Go to a sergeant.
I don't speak for all people, but I'm pretty sure that they don't like making the bed. They have to make.
I feel like after that, then literally it's known that you can't stop make your bed. Like they'll just always make the bed the rest of their life because they have.
I think you're making the wrong point about the military. Why does the military make them make their bed? It's like a mindset thing. It's discipline. That's why they make them do it. It's not like, to make the bed for funsies.
I was going to give them a point.
But there was a reason, but you didn't really give any reason.
It's discipline. That's what I was saying.
Anyway.
Creating habits.
You just kept saying the military.
They're developing those.
Mindset, and it's like,
That's all that
they're
is.
breaking the souls of the soldiers. They're turning them into soldiers. You want to be a soldier for the society, the government? You want to be controlled by the idea that you should make your bed because that's what America says you should do?
But here's the thing,
that's
Matthew.
just the opposite of what America means.
I just made my bed. No one told me to.
It's not freedom
I
if
still
you have
make
to
my
make
bed.
it.
My bed's made right now. Matthew, is yours? No.
You just said you make your bed because the military makes the bed.
No, I make my bed. I'm telling you,
influenced.
I'm defending it to you. I don't need to defend my logic on making the bed. Making the bed for me is a disciplined thing. I wake up, I make the bed, I feel like I'm ready to go. I'm not going. It's the same thing. I wake up, take a shower, I'm ready to go. I wake up, put some socks on, I'm ready to go. I put clothes on. All those things I've disciplined myself through life.
The shower serves a purpose. The shower serves a purpose. The socks serve a purpose. The bed serves no purpose. Why don't, instead of taking that however long it takes you to make your bed, 10 seconds, why don't you turn that into a habit that provides some kind of utility to yourself?
I hear you.
And not just, let me rearrange these sheets differently. And back to your further point, what sparked this topic is that Amber and I were on a work trip together, and we walked into our hotel room, and the bed was made, and she was like, "Oh, I love a fresh made bed," and I was like, first of all, I hate hotel beds when they get made because the sheets are so tight.
Could you not tuck the blankets in? Because I can't sleep all tucked in.
You gotta pull and tug on them to get them out, or you just get stuck underneath them, and
yeah, but doing that thing when you get into a hotel room and you're like, kick your feet, whoop, 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 whoop. It's really fun, though, to get the sheets unstuck. You're in the bed, it's clean. You're like, whoop, 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 like that. Or maybe you do a couple
that's
of
not
these.
fun to me.
I hear exactly what Matthew's saying.
Yeah, but a fresh made bed is different than a made bed. A fresh made bed is like if the sheets are clean and the bed's made. That's a different story than just
Putting
making
your
the bed
sheets
every day.
on is not the same thing as making the bed.
I think Matthew. I think it's clear what
'Cause
Matthew's saying. Matthew wants to go into a hotel and the bed not be made. That's what he's asking for. He wants
not a
it
hotel.
to-
So here's an example. This happened last night. We washed our sheets yesterday and our blankets, and we put the sheets on. We put the blanket. Or Amber did this. Amber put the sheets on, put the blankets on. 10 minutes to bed, she tucks in the comforter. I'm like, what are you doing? All we got 10 minutes from now, I'm going to undo it all. What is the point? And it's the same. That point, 10 minutes, 16 hours, 24 hours, 48, a year. No difference. Tucking the sheets in, tucking the comforter in, does absolutely nothing. It's a waste of time, and you're just not going to convince me wrong because it's a fact. You have provided zero evidence as to why it's a good thing. You've just given me the military.
I have one last rebuttal
I'll
for
die
the
on this
jury.
one.
Here's what I'll
before
say.
you-
Here's
before
what
you
I'll say.
This is my,
Okay,
this
do
is
your
my
closing
closing
statements. Give your closing.
I have a
statements.
closing statement.
Go
too.
ahead. Give your closing statements.
In the fact of Matthew Collins, as he tries to defend the fact of not making his bed, keep in mind this is the same person who has no morning habits whatsoever. He wakes up, we wake up, and we take showers, and we put clothes on, and we do these things. This is the same man who wakes up and immediately out of his boxers he slept in works all day. All day. That's how he's going to work all day long. He'll throw a blanket on. But this is the same man. Keep that in mind when you're making this decision. Military man versus man in briefs all day. You tell me who you're going with. That's my closing statement.
I'll rebuttal to the closing statement, and then I have a closing statement on my own.
No, you can't have a
One,
double
that used to be
close.
me, yes. But now I can't do that because my new team is I have your camera on team, so I gotta have clothes on. And on to my closing statement. So there's this art installation. I saw it on Reddit, but you might have seen it too. It's a hydraulic arm that has purposely been designed to leak its fluid, and the only purpose of the arm that's programmed to do is to scoop the fluid back into itself, around in a circle all day. Oh, I was purposely designed to spill fluid everywhere. Let me scoop it back up. And again, I'll remind you, it's called can't help myself. That's what making the bed is. Instead of making a robot arm that doesn't leak fluid and can do useful things, it's just running. It's only designed to fix its own problem that it was designed to have. You making the bed over and over again, only because society programmed your mind to think you're supposed to be made, it's just dumb. You can't help yourself. You just admit it that you've been programmed by society to think, oh, I should make a bed in the morning because that's just what you do. That's just dumb. Like, anti-American. You're a communist.
Is that your rebuttal or is that your closing statements?
No, well, one of
That
the
was my closing statement.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's over.
that was his closing. Now, one of the perks about being bald is that I don't actually have to shower in the morning.
I never shower.
I
in the
shower
morning.
at night, and then I get into a clean bed.
I shower at
because
night.
I don't have to
You're
do my
supposed shower
hair.
at night. You don't want to get
That's what I'll say
your bed all
about that
dirty.
in the morning. But
Oh,
if,
come on,
so
Bowen.
if we all agree that it is because of a mindset and like a mindset
Oh,
thing.
stop recording.
If you make it like your thing, like Matthew, if Matthew makes it his thing, and he goes, I'm not going to make my bed because, and if he wakes up and he looks at his bed, and he goes, I'm an anarchist. I don't follow the rules. I think that's just as much of a discipline / mindset that you can get yourself into as making the bed. So, I mean, you're going to have to break the mold. I agree. Making the bed, I like having a made bed. If I had to do laundry, I usually do it on the bed. It's hard to do it when your bed's all
You just
messy.
take your blankets off. Your sheets are still there. And also, I don't.
But you have to wake up in the morning and you have to look at your unmade bed and go,
No, I don't
follow
see,
the rules.
That's what you're
then
wrong.
you gotta-
I don't say I'm not making the bed because society tells me to make the bed. I'm saying I'm not going to make the bed because it serves no purpose. It's a waste of time and energy.
By
I
default,
could spend these
you're
hours
doing exactly
doing
what
something
Bowen's saying.
useful.
You're just not acknowledging it mentally. You are doing that. You're saying I'm not going to
No,
do it
he's
because it
saying
doesn't make
I'm
sense.
doing it because I'm told not. That's what I just said. I'm not doing it because it doesn't make any sense to do it.
But that you're standing, so
Me
you're
saying,
making a
"Oh, that
discipline.
doesn't make any
out.
sense to
That's
do
all
it."
he said. He's saying you're making that you've already created a habit
not-
of not making the bed.
It's not a habit to not do something.
If you've done it so many
I don't
times,
have
then
any-
it's almost going to be impossible for you to make the bed. Is almost the logic we're using. Like you couldn't make the bed if you wanted
No,
to.
so-
Is what we're saying.
So say I wanted to have a habit to stop doing something. You'd make a habit to stop doing something that is bad for you. you'd make a habit to start doing something to do something that is good for you. The bed is neither. Making the bed is not good it's bad. Why would I make a habit to do something bad?
No, you
Why would I make a habit
you've already
of
made a
doing
habit
something
of
that's
not
a waste of
doing
time?
it. You've already made a habit of not doing it. That's all we were saying. It's a habit now.
How about instead of making the bed like you do, I'll make a habit of just staring at the wall. I'll just do
Maybe
that
you're
for 5 minutes.
brainwashed.
I'll
Maybe
just stare at the
you're
wall every morning.
brainwashed into not making your bed. You wouldn't know because you're doing it. You wouldn't know. You're outside. You're not even physically able to do that. Bowen's in the middle. He doesn't make it every day, but he does not make it every day. Bowen has that logic to see both sides of the spectrum. Okay, he sees the good and the bad, the good and the evil, the yin and the yang.
Okay, Bowen, why would you make the decision to consciously make your bed? I get making the bed because your parents yelled at you, or in my case, your wife yelled at you. Why would you make your bed, a single man who lives by himself?
Well, like I said, I kind of like it, and
What do you
the
like
laundry
about it?
thing. But also, it's a tough because it is nice.
What's
to
nice
do
about
too,
it?
and you don't gotta
You're
worry
just
about- I don't have
telling.
to like position
I say, why do you like it? And you say, oh, it's nice. No one's saying why it's nice.
to get into.
Yeah, the
get
pillows
into.
are puffed
get
up,
into a
Matthew.
made
It
bed.
has a fresh feeling to it. There's just a freshness to it. That's all the logic.
Listen, Matthew, I applaud the battle, but it's going to be a tough battle because eventually, usually the significant other or the wife wants the bed made. And so this is a battle you're just going to have to keep fighting. And I don't know how long you can keep this up for. I don't know how many years you can go with the battle of not making the bed in the morning.
I'm not
'Cause
saying
I
I
am
never
right
make
in the
the
middle.
bed. I'm saying making the bed is dumb. It makes it not that it's dumb. It serves no purpose. So the act of you taking time out of your morning or your night or your day, any time to make the bed, it's just pointless.
I know, but now that you're making this public statement, you can't.
I'll hunger strike.
That's good logic, but I like that. If we see Matthew's
Johnny
bed
style.
made ever,
You
That's what I'm saying. But especially,
So
if
you're
we ever,
saying
I mean,
that-
I'm talking 20 years from now. I don't think he'll ever forget. I don't think this will ever
Are
be
you
something
saying that-
he won't forget. If he comes to your house and he sees it made, just
so
be ready.
you're just
That's all
saying
I'm
I
gonna
should
say.
abandon my principles because it's hard.
no,
a hard fight.
We,
Might as
no,
well
we
just not
want
believe
you
in
to
it
stick
anymore.
to your principles. We're saying we want you to.
I'm just saying you can't ever do
But I'm saying if Amber makes the bed, if you don't walk immediately in there and unmake that bed, I don't even everything. Yeah, you,
No, it doesn't.
you
So
need to
that's
mess
what
it
I'm
up.
saying. It doesn't matter when you make it. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if she makes it, I immediately make it. It's the exact same thing as her making it and me making it 16 hours later. So would you make the bed 10 minutes before you got in bed? 5 minutes before you got in bed? Would you make the bed just to directly undo the bed?
Matthew, I'm not going to make the bed
Let's-
to directly
what-
undo
let's-
it, but I make the bed in the morning. That's my habit. You don't make the bed in the morning. That's your habit.
Okay, so let's play a game.
Matthew is
How
addicted
close
to not making the bed.
Well, how close to bed? How close to going into your bed will you make your bed? Is it an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours? And what my stance is that if there is any cutoff, then there's no purpose. There's no purpose in making your bed if at a certain point it'll be pointless to make your bed because it's always pointless to make your bed.
No, your logic's all
But go ahead.
crumbling.
If you-
crumbling. We've already made our closing statements.
Okay,
Matthew.
so
I've already
at what
won.
point-
Matthew, the jury's already came back. They said
Yeah.
the military. They're going to
We
vote
needed
for us.
3 more minutes in this podcast. You haven't answered my question. At what point is it too late in the day to make your bed?
I don't think there's an exact time. It's just whatever you're feeling that day. But most of the time, there's not a
Today,
push
would
off.
you go make your bed right now?
If I don't make it in the morning, then I haven't done my habit. I haven't completed my habit. It's not a time limit. There's not a time set. It's if I wake up in the morning, I make the bed. If I don't make it, then it's not going to happen.
Okay, so can you? Okay, so you're saying that the only reason you make the bed is because you want to have a habit you do in the morning.
No, that's not the only reason. That's
So
a
could
very
you also
small
agree
reason of why I do.
Then you haven't. Then what's the reason you make your
The
bed?
fresh feeling, Matthew, the presentableness of it, the ability to go around and not look
Who
like
looks at your bed?
me. I look at my own bed. I like to be presentable, Matthew. It's this. Your logic is like, oh,
To who?
okay. Here you go. No,
Presentable
here you go.
is-
I got a good one. Okay, Matthew. I'm gonna take. Next time I want you to shave above your knee all the way up to your groin and just shave it. No one sees it. What matters? No one sees it. I'm the only one who's going to see it. It's still presentable to have leg hair as a man in our life. It's still presentable. You want to have leg hair. You're not going to just shave it off because it's not. It's about having a presentableness.
You're proving your point exactly.
No,
you're proving.
I prove my point.
Why would I
Make
make
the
an
bed.
effort? No. Why would I make an effort to do something that no one's going to see? You just said there's no reason to shave your leg because no one's going to see
My
it.
point. I'm saying the opposite. I'm telling you, Matthew.
So
if you
you're
were to
saying
shave your
that
leg, you're saying that it's no one's going to see it, so it doesn't matter. That was just a quick example. There's plenty of other things you could do that just because no one sees it
It's a bad
doesn't
example.
matter. Like you're saying, no one sees it, don't do it.
But your argument was that it's presentable, and that would imply that you're presenting it to people.
Next time I get McDonald's, I think I'm just gonna on my way home. I'm just gonna throw out the trash out my window. I mean, no one saw me. It's I'm still,
Other people see that.
It's not.
That's bad for the environment.
Morally correct, Matthew. There are morals on the line. Make your bed or don't.
You're saying it's immoral to not make your bed.
Basically, if we're getting down to it at this point, Matthew, you're an anarchist.
It's a sin.
First, you don't make your bed, then you're killing people. How far do you go? How far do you go down the line?
No, but see, that's the you're taking the assumption that making the bed is a good thing and that not making the bed is a bad thing.
You're
not.
taking the
It's not
assumption. You're making the assumption that it's bad to make your bed and
No,
that it's good to not make your bed.
I'm saying that it's a waste of a habit. You could use that habit on something else.
No, Matthew. There's plenty.
All right.
If we're doing wasteful habits, Matthew I think we all have quite a few wasteful habits. Okay, can we? That's not the point.
So, and my stance is that making the bed is a wasteful habit.
All my habits.
Anyway,
really.
I think people are done here listening to us cry about beds. Matthew has sounded a little cry today. Honestly, it's like he wanted to come to us. Hey guys, do you want to hear what's going on? You want to hear what's going on with me right now? I just don't want to make my bed. Can you help me?
Your reasoning for not making the bed is the same that I use for voting. Okay, now you can stop.
No, because voting has purpose. Okay. Well, I'm not going to get into that. It's going to make me angry. I'm going to have a stroke. All right. See you guys next time. We'll have an outro right now.